What's cracking, guys? Bruce Mattson here, your host show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football, and we're going to be finishing up this series right here, right now. Lately, we've been covering the Dynasty rankings over at KeepTradeCut.com, going over their player values. It's a crowdsourced website. Pretty much anyone goes on there, they ask them some questions, you answer them, they take your answers, curate that as data, and next thing you know, they got these player values for you to look at. Pretty cool. So what we've been doing here on the channel, we've been looking at the quarterback rankings, wide receivers, running backs, and today we're going to look at the tight ends to cap it off. But before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every subscription matters. Fuels me to keep pumping out this content for you guys. Fuels me to keep going over the rookies to help you with your rookie drafts and all that fun stuff for your Dynasty teams. But with that being said, let's take a look at their tight end ranking. Here we are, tight end rankings for KeepTradeCut.com. Look at it in the fold here. Kyle Pitts, tight end 1, pretty standard. Let's look at his flow chart here. Ups and downs, but really pretty stable. Mark Andrews, number 2, 25 years old still, not too old for a tight end. George Kittle, 3, Kelsey, 4. A lot of people were scared off on Kelsey because he's 32 years old, but remember, he's got Patrick Mahomes throwing him the rock, so don't be too scared of him, but also note that the fall-off may come. TJ Hawkinson, a value due to the target share in Detroit, especially when healthy. Darren Waller, a little bit of a fall-off injury year last year. Also, not too young at 29 years old. Pat Freiermuth, who's going to be his quarterback? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be Malik Willis or some other rookie? Pat Freiermuth, though, looked good last year, even with the corpse of Ben Roethlisberger, so we'll see what happens with his career. Known as Baby Gronk from Penn State. Dallas Goddard looks like a good value here. I think he's got some decent talent. Jalen Hurts is all right with him. Peas and carrots, not really. More like sauerkraut and maybe brats or something like that. Kind of funny, kind of not, kind of joke. However, Dalton Schultz, back with Dallas for this year. Value went up a little bit. People are back in. Kind of speculative. If he hit the market, would have been scary times for his dynasty value. If he re-signed with Dallas, which he kind of did, he's got tagged. Looking good. Overall long-term player value, it's hard to tell. If I'm Dallas, I'm looking to get another tight end in one of these drafts. This year's drafting tight end, you got some bodies there you can look at. You may be able to get some values there. Get a 4th rounder, 3rd rounder, something like that. You don't know, but his replacement might be coming. Dawson Knox. A lot of people like him in Dynasty Twitter. A lot of people have been talking him up. He's 25 years old. On the Bills, decent offense. Mike Gesicki's a hell of value. Good, talented, athletic prospect. Paired with Tua, hasn't hit yet. Tight ends don't hit off the jump. Some of them hit later. But you got some good value here in Mike Gesicki. Same with Noah Fant and Albert O. Albert's stock has went nuclear. It has went through the roof since Noah Fant is now with Seattle and got traded away. Fant's stock hasn't dropped too much. Albert O's went up. What if Denver brings in another tight end? What if that happens? Do you want to sell Albert O? Can you even get that much off the trade market? He's probably valued as a TE1 in most leagues. He should be. But you never know. Cole Kmet had his day in the sun with some value. People talking him up at the end of the season. So who knows about him? Ertz Jr. People have been talking about him too. Again, we're getting down in these rankings. Brevin Jordan's a guy I like for cheap. The rookies here, people are fading a little bit. That's all right. Trey McBride, value kind of dropping a little bit. People are starting to talk up more of these rookie tight ends. Adam Trotman, a guy that I'm not dead on yet, and he's super cheap and free almost, which he is free when you're down here. When it comes to tight ends, my overall look, there's some tight ends that I'm gunning for that I like. Like I like Kyle Pitts at the top here. Mark Andrews is fine, but usually in startup drafts, I'm looking at other positions. And usually here, these guys at the top, I'm not really going after. There comes this certain sticking point in startup drafts. And I imagine Albert O is going to end up in this spot. It's around the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th round, 10th, 11th. There comes this dead zone where wide receiver isn't great anymore. Running back's a bunch of duds. Quarterback, I either went early or I'm trying to go late. And you got Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. Albert O's probably going to end up in the mix. Maybe a Dallas Goddard. Sometimes he falls a little bit. You get one of those guys, and I pick him up. And then sometimes the next round, it's the same way, and I get the other tight end. It might be like a Noah Fant and a Mike Gesicki stacked, or a Mike Gesicki, Irv Smith later on stacked. Zach Ertz is a guy I'm after. He just got signed or re-signed to the Cardinals. His value should be trending up. He is going to be a cheap guy to get. He's 31 years old, but has some talent. Tight ends can be in the league for a little bit. And again, I don't like tight ends because usually like a tight end 1, you have to be top 5. You top 12. Like the back end of that top 12 don't really count as a tight end 1. Usually if you're like a tight end, like the 12th best tight end, 9th, 10th, 11th, usually you're not far away in points wise from the TE 20 that week, TE 25, TE 15. You're not too far away to really separate yourself. You got to be like top 5, top 3. So if I'm looking for back end tight end 1s, I'd rather pay down for that. I don't want to pay up for that. That's my strategy. And if I'm paying up, I'm paying up long term. Kyle Pitts is my main guy. These guys here, Andrews, Kittle, Kelsey, Hawkinson. Hawkinson sometimes falls. Sometimes you can get him a discount. But Andrews, Kittle, Kelsey, you can catch them in waves where the wide receiver group isn't looking as good. Wide receivers as an asset usually give you a little bit more depth, a little bit of long-term stability. Running backs start to die out. You can catch one of these tight ends then. Pat Freiermuth, you can sometimes catch him at a discount too. You can probably stack him. Sometimes you'll get 2 of these middle round guys, middle ranked tight ends that you can just stack together. I love Brevin Jordan as a speculative asset. Down here, you got some more speculative assets. I haven't talked about them yet. Donald Parnum was a guy that I was interested in as a small school prospect from the XFL. I just rooting for him. Jonnu Smith, ever since he went to New England, I was out. I just didn't see it happening. But again, these cheap guys who are free, maybe even Blake Jarwin, see where he goes. I don't know. Probably not. Jeremy Rucker, rookie tight end that people were sleeping on. Isaiah Likely, another tight end who's very productive. They are missing some rookie tight ends. Jalen Whittemire, Devi T won for a long time. Logan Thomas could experience a bump in value. The Dolchich guy from UCLA is not even on here. I'm not going past the top 50. That would be a sin. That would be a sin to go past 50 tight ends. I feel like we're good wrapping it up here. Ian Thomas down here at the bottom is tight end 50. Tight end 50 on keeptradecaught.com. But again, tight end, just pick your spots with it. Pick your spots, know who you want, and go get them. Don't go overboard. Tight end is a position that in Dynasty, it's weird because in a lot of my leagues, over time, the leagues that I've been in for a long time, I'll catch myself stashing like 3 of these middle tight ends, and somehow they got on my team either off the waiver wire, just through trade, through rookie drafts. They just end up being there. And really, they're not really doing anything for me. Even though they're valued kind of high for a tight end, they're not really doing anything for me. And sometimes I'll end up with like 2, 3, 4 of them. And you try to trade, you don't get much off the market. So don't go too hard on tight end. Get the guys you think, or try to get a decent batch and just play DFS with them. Just have a strategy with them. Just don't end up accumulating them or collecting them like Pokemon. Don't end up spending too much. Think about the other positions. Simple strategy stuff with the tight end spot. Simple stuff. Kyle Pitts is very interesting because he's going to hold his value for a bit. He's only 21 years old. He is a key component of the offense. They're probably going to get another wide receiver to work alongside him. Target share is going to be there. Air yards is going to be there. Production's going to be there. Value on the trade market's going to stay there for at least another couple years unless he face plants. It's going to be valuable in Dynasty for a long time. Safe asset. And you can get wide receivers and running backs after him. That's a guy I've been going after. I've been going after all these guys if they fall in value. That's just what I got on tight end. But I want to thank you for watching the show. Stick with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. Fuels me. Keep pumping out this content at a fast pace. Doing multiple videos, sometimes a day. But again, thank you, and I'll catch you next time.